a new report from the Texas newsroom is detailing a refusal by the governor's office to release emails between Governor Greg Abbott and Elon Musk. Investigative reporter and editor for the Texas newsroom, Lauren McGahee, broke this story. Lauren, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
So you all wanted to know, you wanted to see some emails. Tell us what you were looking for.
So we were trying to track Elon Musk's influence at the Texas Capitol during this legislative session that just wrapped up. We filed records requests all over the place with senators, with the lieutenant governor, and also with the governor. And this specific request was pretty broad. We just asked for any emails between Greg Abbott and Elon Musk, or anyone in Greg Abbott's office, and anyone that was emailing from specific emails like at Tesla, at SpaceX, so Elon Musk's companies. Just about 6 months of those communications, and we were told that they weren't going to give us anything.
And so let's take a step back. For people who don't know, filing these public information requests, this is how journalists get the information that we're looking for, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's part of the pro forma reporting process. If someone isn't going to sit down and give you an interview, you might be forced to go through the process that any member of the public can do and file a request through formal channels for more information.
And the reason you all wanted this information is while Elon Musk himself was not around the Texas Capitol this legislative session, he was pretty busy in Washington, D.C. He did have some lobbyists working on his behalf.
He did, and he actually got a lot done. We found out that he had about 13 bills that he was lobbying for and against, and he got about 10 of them, which is, if anyone knows the Capitol, it's a pretty good batting average. So we wanted to put a little bit more context to that to figure out who he was talking to in those months, who his company reps were talking to, and that's why we asked for this information.
And when you talk about the bills, tell us about the range of bills. What were they about that he had an interest in?
Yeah, so in past sessions, most of his attention has been on Tesla. So trying to get bills passed for Tesla, especially direct sales to the consumer in Texas, that's something he's wanted for a long time. He still hasn't gotten that, but this session he got a lot else done, especially around SpaceX. That's where most of his attention was. You mentioned that just a few minutes ago. So this was everything from more control over Boca Chica Beach down where the launch facility is, to protections for crimes to fly drones over spaceports, or to shield some more information from public release regarding aerospace issues. And so he was actually able to get quite a lot done this session for SpaceX, which seemed like where his attention was.
And now one of the things that I think was particularly interesting was the reason why the governor's office and his team were not going to give you all access to some of the emails. Talk to us about that.
So they cited a number of reasons. It's pretty common to get a rejection back and it to be 3 or 4 different reasons. There were 5 in this case, but one of the reasons that the governor's office gave us was that some of the emails might be intimate and embarrassing and not of interest to the public. They didn't tell us what that meant. It's a pretty boilerplate language. It's a rather common exception that might cover things like private health information, or maybe there's a child's name or information involved that's protected by education code exemptions. But we thought, what exactly is he talking about here when he talks about intimate and embarrassing and personal information that might be shared between the governor's office and one of the richest people on the planet? We still don't have those answers, but that was one of the reasons we were given.
And particular interest that it said, of public interest. This is them emailing through the government website, through government emails, and one might argue that everything then is of public interest.
Well, some of the other reasons they gave were like, there's attorney-client privilege. We're talking about trying to entice businesses to Texas, and that's competitive advantage. We don't want to reveal these communications. But then they tacked on that reason as well: common law privacy, intimate and embarrassing, potentially intimate and embarrassing information. We wanted to know what that was. We haven't gotten that, and I don't know if we will. The Attorney General gets to make the decision whether we get those records.
Yeah, so we'll see how that all shakes out. All right, Lauren McGahee with the Texas Newsroom. We thank you so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome.